Poppy Playtime just had some massive leaks for their game Project Playtime, including map leaks, event leaks, and what some even speculate to be a release date for Chapter 3, along with new Project Playtime characters as well. Like the video if you're hyped for Chapter 3, and as a reward, here's my goofy snake. Also, I should mention that this video is still all speculative, and none of the stuff I'm about to show you are confirmed leaks. However, as I'll explain later, I'm confident that all of these are 100% true. So for starters, the developers recently announced that Season 2 of Project Playtime was going to introduce a new map called the Recycle Mill. And if you didn't know, leakers have actually been able to play this map to see what it's going to look like early, showing that it's going to be absolutely massive with a much gloomier, darker yellow aesthetic and tons of new locations. Not to mention some placeholders for grapple mechanics according to Tetrabit, which is also insane. And it's so big that some are even predicting they might use 2 monsters on this map just to match the sheer size of it. This new map is also going to focus a lot more on jumping around and the Y-axis style of gameplay, which tells me characters like Mommy Longlegs are going to be incredibly viable for this map. But moving on from the new map though, a Twitter user named Just Nathan throughout the past few weeks has been posting tons of exclusive leaks about Project Playtime as well. For starters, there is this unused puzzle that he posted here that appears to be incredibly similar to the wires puzzle from Among Us, where we simply have to match the colored wires to each other using the grab packs. Now, as cool as this puzzle is, to be honest, I wouldn't expect it to actually be put into the final game, because this appears to be a scrapped feature that they used for testing and won't be included in the game, at least in the near future. Just because this puzzle is incredibly random, and in the real game they use puzzle pillars for the mini games, so this seems to be a scrapped feature at least for now. However, what appears to be actually coming is a brand new puzzle pillar side shared by these same leakers, showing off this panel along with these circular patterns of some sorts as well. Now, what I assume this is for is that I assume it's a mini game where you have a ball of some sorts at the top here, and using the left and right dials you have to run it through the maze of circles here and then drop it into the bottom, which is where the puzzle ends, which honestly sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun if it gets put into development. Plus, as a side note, while talking about gameplay, the leaker was also able to access a camera system in the files, which is actually a scrapped mechanic we've seen before in Project Playtime, so that's cool, and maybe it could be in the development for the future. Next up is an absolute bombshell of a leak that actually has some people incredibly confused. So basically, the same leaker showed us this image of some source code that shows us listings for characters Player, Huggy, Mommy, Bunzo, PJ, and Kangaroo? Hold on, who is Kangaroo? Did they just leak the character for Chapter 3? Well, that's what I thought at first, but no. Basically, I'm pretty sure that Kangaroo is actually just the code name for Boxy Boo, because he doesn't show up in the source code at all, and he also has Kangaroo-like abilities such as his spring-loaded jump, so I think this was just to mask Boxy Boo, and I don't think it's anything special. However, what's still incredibly interesting is that they listed Bunzo and PJ on the list, which is incredibly weird because these two characters never show up in the game at all. They aren't playable characters, they aren't toys we build in the game. I mean, there's a skin outfit for Bunzo Bunny in the game, so maybe that's what it's for, but then what's PJ for, because he has no skin in the game at all, and also why are they listed with the rest of the characters? I mean, to me, this looks like they could potentially be testing for these two characters to show up in the game soon, especially since PJ Pugapillar specifically was one of the most popular choices of characters to be added into the game next in their surveys that they held recently. I don't know, I don't really know anything about code, so if you know more, let me know in the comments below about what this could mean. It's completely possible it's meaningless, but neither PJ or Bunzo ever show up in the game, so it has to at least mean something. However, this brings me to the biggest leak of the day. So about a month ago, Nathan released a list of what they claim to be upcoming event leaks, showing us the St. Patrick's event running from March 10th to March 25th, which is ongoing currently. Then there's the Easter event, Cinco de Mayo event, Beach Party event, 4th of July event, a mystery event, Toy Takeover event, a Halloween event, Harvest Festival event, Christmas event, the Mob event, and then the Chinese New Year to end it off. Now, this was a ton of event news. However, a few different things stood out here as worth mentioning. First, there's the Beach Party event. Now, I don't think this is really for anything specific, and rather, it's just a summer event of some sorts. I mean, it's really common with games to do this. I don't think it's anything special. Then there's the Harvest Festival, which is just a different way, I believe, of saying Thanksgiving. Plus, there's this thing called the Mob event, which is really weird. I'm not exactly sure what this is for, but I imagine it'll be an event of some sorts revolved around mob games and their studio. I can't say for certain. However, the two that stick out to me the most is the Unnamed event and the Toy Takeover event. The Toy Takeover, for starters, is already incredibly interesting, because we've theorized for a while now that the Playtime Co factory was attacked by the toys and the prototype in some horrific event, causing all of the employees to mysteriously disappear, which is a theory that weirdly aligns with the name Toy Takeover. Not to mention, we know Project Playtime most likely in the lore takes place when the factory was still open, since in the tutorial we hear Leith Pierre guide the survivors, suggesting he was alive and hadn't disappeared yet. So maybe this event will end up having some sort of lore secrets. However, what's incredibly interesting is this event that has no name at all, running from August 7th to the 28th. What in the world could this be for, and why didn't they give it a name? Well, some are speculating that it could potentially be an event for none other than Chapter 3 celebrating its release, and it's not named because they wanted to avoid it getting into the public, or maybe they just don't have a name for it yet, either or. This theory in terms of estimates lines up with when we thought the release date for Chapter 3 would be pretty well as it is, plus this would coincidentally line up almost exactly with the day that the original Chapter 3 teaser trailer released, which was August 6th of 2022, a single day before this event is supposed to start, which would make a lot of sense if, say, Chapter 3 releases on the anniversary of the trailer, and then the next day they start the event itself. It's also possible that this could be a separate event to celebrate the release of Project Playtime itself as well, because if you didn't know, the game is also currently in early access and isn't set to release until sometime midway through the year, which also lines up with this release date as well, so either of these options seem to make sense in my opinion. It's a really interesting theory. Here's some of the source code shared for the leak stuff, so if you're tech savvy, let me know what you think of all of this in the comments below. But this all then brings up a massive question. How the heck do I know if any of this is real? Well, to be truthful, I don't. However, I have a lot of proof to suggest that it is. See, this leaker who revealed all this stuff has actually been a very prominent member in the community in the past. After digging through the internet for a while, I found one of their old Reddit accounts where they predicted the Christmas event release date from last year, and also this past February, they leaked all of the player cosmetics for the St. Patrick's Day event, which a lot of people actually thought was fake when I showed it on live stream. However, throughout the past month, I've been following these leaks very closely. And like we said in the last leak that was from February, the leaker said that the St. Patrick's Day event would start on March 10th and go to the 25th. And what do you know, on the 10th of March this year, the event was launched and all of these skins leaked by them were shown up on the item shop. The only real inconsistency here is that the end date for the event is the 24th when the leaker said it would end on the 25th, so take that for what you will. However, while this isn't confirmed and I'm not going to act like this is all fact, there is so much proof that it is all most likely real, so I believe it's safe to say that this information is probably accurate. As a bonus though, if we look at the leaked St. Patrick's Day skins, we can also see that there's some other renders for other unreleased skins that also never came out, such as this one with BoogieBot, which looks incredibly cool. And although BoogieBot doesn't seem like he will ever appear as a real monster, this player skin definitely does a lot of justice whenever it releases, which to this day is still unknown. However, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If more updates come out, I'll leave them in the comments. Subscribe and peace.